Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about student and career services here at the Graduate School of Education and Human Development. My name is Laura DeLuca. I'm the Director of Student Services here. I have some information to share with you just kind of about the resources that are going to be available to you should you choose to come to GSEHD at GW, and about building your community here. And then I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So I've already used this acronym, so I just want to make sure that it makes sense to you all. While this is not how we spell our school, we do call it GSEHD. So you're going to hear a lot of acronyms throughout, and I just want to make sure that this is the way we refer to the Graduate School of Education and Human Development. So one of the really important things about being able to be successful in graduate school is having the support that you need. And the support goes beyond just making sure that you can succeed in your classes and do well academically. It also includes, making sure that you yourself are being taken care of personally, that you have the support you need for that, and that you're being able to explore and prepare for whatever career move is next for you. So the Office of Student Life is located on the Foggy Bottom campus in Washington, D.C. Our office includes the Office of Admissions, with whom you've already been working, as well as Student and Career Services, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. The Office of Student and Career Services at GSEHD is really your guide to life at GW and then to your professional life beyond. So from the very beginning, once you accept your admissions, you are working with the Office of Student and Career Services. We are going to help you with orientation to make sure that you know everything you need to get started and start off strong in your program. And also we're going to be helping you really hone in on what are your career goals and how can your program help you advance that, and how can you get the most out of your program in order to be able to advance that. So this is really, we're really here to kind of guide you throughout your academic experience, but then also beyond, as our career services do extend to our alumni. So there are two components of this, the student services side and the career services side. On the student services and academic support side, every student has a dedicated student services representative. This person is available to kind of be your point of contact for not just GSEHD, but the university. GW is a really large university, so sometimes navigating that can be a little bit challenging. And your student services representative is going to be available to help you with that, to connect you to the right people, to answer questions. So some of the services and support that your student services representative will provide for you are initially an orientation to accommodate all of our students, whether they are online at a distance or in person on our main campus. We have both virtual and in-person orientation sessions that provide an opportunity to really understand the culture of the school, know what to expect in your classes, connect with different resources, so that by the time you start classes, you have a really good idea of what to expect and you can start strong. Our team also will help with registration assistance and making sure that throughout your program, you are hitting the milestones you need to, you're making good progress. We can be very helpful if you run into any challenges. So that may be academic or it may be personal that's impacting your academics. And either way, we can help you troubleshoot and figure out a solution so that you can keep moving forward and get to that goal of graduation. The student services team is going to be available to explain GSEHD and GW policies and how they relate to your specific situations. We can advocate for you if, for example, you are looking to see if there's a possibility of an exception or to appeal a decision. We can help you through that and connect you to the right people to get all of the information you need to make a strong appeal, and then help walk you through that process. And then, of course, we're here to connect you to resources. I'll talk a little bit later in general about some of the resources available to students as GW community members, not just at GSEHD. But if you're ever curious, do we have this resource? Is this something I can get help with? Student services can always, if we're not the right people to help, we will connect you with the right people to help. There are a few different ways that our team provides this student services and academic support. We have general email accounts that are related to each program. The reason for that, instead of having you just contact your representative directly, is that if someone is out on vacation or out sick, there are other people who are checking that inbox. So anything pressing is always going to be answered in a timely manner. You can schedule one-on-one appointments with your rep. We really encourage this, particularly as you're preparing to start your program. And then every semester, we invite students to do a midterm check-in with us just to see how things are going. If there's anything that maybe is coming up that you want to discuss and plan, or if there's anything happening during the semester that maybe you could use some advice on. Of course, you're able to schedule appointments at any time, but we do really encourage people to meet with their reps at the beginning and then the midpoint of every semester. And then our website, which I've linked here and will be providing this presentation to you, has a lot of other information, including our handbooks, which really give you an overview of the policies and some of the details of our academic programs and how those work, as well as some newsletters. So if you're curious about what are some things that have been going on at GSEHD in the past, you can review some past newsletters to get a sense of the type of information, events that would be shared with you as a student. So as I mentioned, the other side of our office is working with you on career development. So you will be able to participate either in one-on-one coaching with a career counselor, or you'll be able to attend a wide variety of group advising or workshops. And really, we can support you in wherever you are in your career development. So we typically have students coming to us who fall into 3 categories. Either career starters, so maybe you just graduated undergrad and you're looking to launch your career with this master's program or certificate or doctoral degree, or you've been working in a field for a while and you want to make a shift. You want to make a change and you're seeking education to help you make that move. That's also something that we can help with. And then lastly, maybe you're just looking to advance. So wherever you are, our career support can help you make sure that you're getting the information you need to set really reasonable and appropriate goals for wherever you are in your career. Can you explore your options? Figure out what can I do during my program that's going to most benefit me in my career, in my job search, in my next steps. We have a very broad employer network here at GW. That's also something that we can help you with, is connecting with employers, as well as networking with alumni. Our alumni are really wonderful for helping students figure out exactly where they want to go and getting advice on what does it look like to work in X field or X role. They can be a really, really valuable source of information and support. GW uses the Handshake Career Services platform. So some of you may have already used this in your undergraduate institutions. This is basically going to be your hub for career services. So it's where you'll be able to register for events and career fairs. There is a very extensive job board that you'll have access to, which includes part-time, full-time, and internship positions. And there's a wealth of resources dedicated to career development that you can access. Just to highlight a few of those resources, as I mentioned, we have a very robust alumni network. We have a dedicated alumni networking platform called GW Career Connect. And this is a platform where students can connect with alumni who have opted in to mentoring and working with students who are looking for advice on their career journey. All GW constituents, so students, faculty, staff, have access to LinkedIn Learning. This is a great software with a very extensive library for different skill building courses. So it's something that may be in your kind of career exploration. You identify a skill that you'd like to work on in order to make yourself more marketable. This is a great way to practice and get that experience. Going Global is a particularly useful tool for any international students who are hoping to work in the US or anyone who's looking to work abroad. So on the international student side, there's a lot of really helpful information about work visas. And then for working abroad, there are country guides for wherever you could be considering working. These help you understand what is the workplace culture of that country, what are some things to consider in the job search, and also some tools for actually finding opportunities. And then lastly, VMock and interviewing.com are self-service tools to help you with writing an effective resume and interview preparation. So in addition to your student and career services team, you will also have a faculty advisor. The faculty advisors are going to be the subject matter experts who can help you on the content of your program. So whether that's choosing the right elective courses for you or finding an internship in terms of what may be an appropriate internship, what should you be looking for, or looking at different research opportunities. Your faculty advisor is someone who has a background academically and professionally in your field. So they are really an excellent support in terms of making sure that you know how to be successful in your academic program, that you're taking the right classes, that you're taking advantage of the right academic opportunities. And then to look a little bit more broadly beyond GSEHD, one of the things that's wonderful about this school is that GSEHD is a small community, and so you have a great sense of support on a small scale, but it's also in a very large university, which means that you have access to a host of resources. So I won't go through all of these right now, but as I said, I will you'll receive this presentation. But just to kind of give you a general overview, there are resources that can help with your academic studies. So whether that's through the library or the writing center, resources for health and wellness. We have a health center and a counseling services center. Resources for students with disabilities who need accommodations, or international students who need support with their visas. We have a whole office dedicated to diversity, equity, and community engagement, under which we have a multicultural student center, LGBTQIA resource center, and then of course we have financial support. So the Office of Student Financial Assistance is the financial aid office. Student accounts deals more with billing. So if there are questions specifically about payment, maybe a third-party payment, something like that, that's the office to help with. And then Military and Veteran Services is the office that can assist with using any military funding for your degree. So basically, one thing I'd like you to come away from this session with is realizing that if you choose to join us at GSEHD, you have a really strong network of support of individuals who are here to we're cheering for your success. So you have your student services support, you have career development support, a faculty advisor, and then all of the campus resources that you can utilize to get what you need to be a successful student and to be a successful professional. Many students will ask about opportunities to work while they are in their program on campus. There are three main ways that you can do this. One is through the Student Employment Office. This is for jobs that any job that's on campus. It could be federal work study if that's part of your work package, but it can also just be regular student employment in one of the administrative or academic offices on campus. The Office of Graduate Student Assistantships and Fellowships manages the graduate assistantships across campus, teaching assistants, etc. There are also those options for you to consider in terms of employment. And then lastly, of course, there is the GW jobs through HR. So this has opportunities for full-time, part-time staff, faculty, and research positions at the university. And one of the wonderful benefits of working at GW is the tuition remission that you would be able to be eligible for. The specifics of that are all on the HR website, and how much of your tuition would be covered depends on whether you're a full-time or part-time employee, but every employee is entitled to tuition remission. Another thing that comes up a lot when considering grad school is where you're going to be, who your community is going to be, what is the area. We're very fortunate to be in Washington, D.C. There is really a wealth of academic opportunities, research opportunities. Obviously, we are very close to the seat of power in the US, so there's a lot of potential networking that can happen in this city, but it can be a little overwhelming as you're coming in, say, well, how am I going to build a network from scratch? So there are a couple things that I think are helpful with that. And one is considering getting involved on campus. There are several student organizations that are specific to GSEHD, where students from different programs get together and they will host events and they'll support one another, have networking with alumni, different opportunities to connect around a shared interest of your academic studies. But we also have across the university, essentially any interest you have, anything that you identify as, there is an organization for that. There are other people who are interested in involvement around that topic. So I definitely encourage students to look into, it's called GW Engage. This is the database essentially of all of our student organizations. And to start getting a sense of, where you might be able to make connections with other students across the campus, because that certainly is going to help enhance your experience if you are feeling connected and you're feeling like you are at home at GW. Speaking of home, I understand that a lot of our students relocate in order to attend GSEHD. So I'd like to share with you a few neighborhood guides that tell you a little bit about not just the DC neighborhoods, but the surrounding neighborhoods in Maryland and Virginia. Our students really live in all three of those areas. GW is very accessible through public transit. So a lot of it is a matter of what type of area are you looking to live in? Do you want a slightly more urban, maybe a little bit more suburban? What are you looking for? There is something for everyone in the immediate DMV vicinity of Washington, D.C. When you start actually looking for housing, the GW off-campus housing website can be an extremely helpful resource, not just for finding rentals that are available, but finding roommates. So this is a great way to cut down on some of the awkwardness of trying to find a roommate in a new city with no sense of exactly where they're coming from. Everyone who's on here is part of the GW community. So you already know that you have that in common. And it's a really helpful way to find other students who might be looking for roommates to share housing with. And then lastly, just speaking of getting to campus, there is a public transportation benefit for full-time students. It's called the UPass Transit Program. This link will be in the presentation that you receive. And like I said, the campus is very accessible via public transit, whether that is the metro, our subway system, or the bus lines. Some students will choose to drive to campus, so I've also included information on parking on campus. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. On the next slide, I have, these are some of the offices that you can reach out to for specific questions. So if it's something that I am not able to answer, we'll make sure that we share that you receive the information on who to go to. So let me see, I have one question about using the GI Bill for tuition. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, a military and veterans benefits office. So before you start the process, I encourage you to reach out to them. The contact information is linked in the previous slide where I listed that. I can show you. So this office is going to be able to walk you through the process of using your benefits and kind of what to expect in that process. Please feel free to enter any questions in the chat. And of course, if you have others, we will be sending this presentation with the contact information for the various departments that may be able to assist in answering those. So you can always reach out to us. If you have any questions about the general experience of being a student at GSEHD, please don't hesitate to reach out to our general student services inbox, which is the first one on this screen, gshedosl@gw.edu. I really appreciate everyone joining us today. And as I said, please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. We know that the decision to come to grad school, to choose the right school for you is a big one. And we want to help ensure that you are making that choice for yourself in the most informed way possible. So we're happy to help guide you through that. And we hope to hear from you. And I hope to see you on campus in the coming semesters.